Hello, today I'm going over Unifying Themes of Biology lecture. So this is still an introduction to biology, and we're just talking about some things that are common among living organisms, things that we see in biology that are common among all or most living things. So we'll start out here talking about systems. And we're talking about systems because living things have systems, so pieces that work together to do some function at a large scale and at a small scale. A system is a group of related parts that interact to form a whole, like how car parts must be arranged correctly to make a working vehicle. In biology, systems exist at all levels, from microscopic molecules and cells to large-scale ecosystems. So when we talk about systems in biology, it can go beyond just an individual organism, because creatures within an environment also interact in specific ways where they're working together to have something occur in the ecosystem. An ecosystem is a biological system where living and non-living things interact, ranging from vast regions like forests to small areas like a single tree. Okay, so that's the systems idea here. And then we get into structure and function. So in biology, a lot of times we talk about the structure of something in a living organism being made that way to serve what its function is going to be. And then we have teeth up here as an example. The structure of a part determines its function, as seen in both cars and living organisms, where different shapes and forms serve specific purposes. Now in the teeth up here, we have different teeth used for different things. Molars are more for grinding, where incisors are more for tearing, right? Tearing into food rather than grinding it up. So they have different shapes because they have different functions. In biology, this relationship exists at various levels, from teeth adapted for biting and grinding to proteins like membrane channels and enzymes with distinct functions. So we'll find out later on that proteins have certain shapes that allow them to do certain things chemically. Okay, let's see. Next, we have a little bit more about structure and function. At the organism level, body structures enable specific functions, like human feet designed for stable walking, while beetles have specialized tarsi for gripping surfaces. So different structures for different modes of transportation in this case, right? Humans walking, but beetles using what look like hooks at the end of their feet to move around, move up sheer surfaces, things like that. Different structures are suited for different tasks, meaning a brain cell cannot function as a red blood cell. And I have a neuron up here, a brain cell, and no part of this is structured to work as a blood cell, and vice versa too. You'd have to make a lot of changes for this to be able to work as a red blood cell. Okay. Homeostasis, so this is maintaining balance within our systems. Homeostasis is the maintenance of constant internal conditions in an organism, crucial for optimal cell function within a limited range of conditions. So what we mean here is things like temperature. Our body temperature stays at 98.6. Now this is for humans, right? It stays at 98.6, and our body works to keep it at that temperature, not too high and not too low, just right at that level. But, homeostasis can also involve chemicals within cells or chemicals within your body. You don't want too much salt in your body, and you don't want too little salt in your body. So homeostasis is maintaining the proper amount. This is often achieved through negative feedback, where changes trigger responses to restore the system to its original state. If humans start to get too hot, we sweat in order to cool down. And by negative feedback, we mean whenever it starts to get out of balance, we change it to go back to how it was. So if we get too cold, the negative feedback is to warm it up. If we get too hot, the negative feedback is to cool you down. All right, adaptations. So as far as we know, as far as we can tell, all the evidence supports this. Creatures over time adapt to their environment. This is natural selection. These are slow changes over time, and since the environment is always changing on Earth, we don't have environments that just stay the same at all times. So slowly, no matter what, creatures are going to have to change over time to fit that environment. Adaptations occur through natural selection, where inherited traits that offer survival advantages become more common in a population over generations. So survival advantage is important. We'll go into this in much more detail, but it's passing on good traits to your offspring. The thorn bug and the orchid exemplify adaptations that help them survive by resembling other organisms, either to attract pollinators or avoid predators. These are the thorn bugs here, and they're hidden, they're camouflaged to look like thorns on a particular bush, right? And that had to slowly evolve over time, where some were able to escape predators because they were not as noticeable as other of those same types of bugs. Evolutionary adaptation differs from the everyday meaning of adaptation as it results from genetic changes over many generations due to natural pressures, not from conscious effort. So genetic changes happening from generation to generation, not a change happening within one individual over the course of its lifetime. And then finally, we see evolution in all organisms as well. Evolution explains both the unity and diversity of life, as all organisms share common cell structures and chemical processes due to evolutionary descent. So we can look back through past generations of organisms, and we can see the relatedness between present organisms. And this has been shown thousands and thousands and thousands of times in thousands of ways. And we can even go back to a chemical and cellular level and see how organisms are related from billions of years ago. Despite their differences, humans and bacteria have similar genetic materials, DNA and RNA, energy sources, and cell membrane structures. So those things there let us know that humans and bacteria are actually related if you go far enough back in the history of life. You got to go really, really far for that. Over billions of years, natural selection and adaptation have led to the vast diversity of species on Earth. So because of all those changes over time to genetics, we, instead of having one or two types of living things, we've got hundreds and thousands and millions of different types of living organisms. Okay, I hope this helps. Thank you very much.